Busted. Look at that.
Feels like you could offend exactly 0 teams by saying black. Yeah, I got you.
Bro,
You did.
you did not correct me.
You know I rock with you. I definitely did correct you.
Do you like, what was it, butter pecan?
I don't. Nah.
See, told you.
What? That wasn't the argument at all.
Yes, it was.
Cut to it, cut to it. Let's get down to it. Cut to it, cut to it, cut to it. Let's get down to it.
Welcome to the Cut to It podcast. Bryce Young, Heisman Trophy winner, potential top 3 pick of this coming NFL draft. Welcome to the Cut to It podcast. That's my co-host, Coley Mick.
What's up?
How you doing?
Man, I'm happy to be here. Happy to be here.
What I've seen you do interviews. Are you ever not happy to be somewhere?
I'm blessed. What could I say? I mean, I'm blessed to be on the journey that I'm on.
Yeah. Man. I was watching your ESPN clock. What's that? Draft on the clock or play on the clock? Did Archie Manning and you really text each other throughout the season?
No, we really did. He texts
really?
me all the time.
Really?
I think I just texted him a couple of days ago. We were just texting each other. He texts me all the time. He's always checking in.
Yeah.
Obviously the formatting might have been a little unique from what I saw, but that actually is about how it goes. Like, he really does text me that often. We're always checking up on each other. So yeah, nothing but love for the Manning family.
Okay, well, let's get to it because I know you're on a time crunch and I'm on a time crunch as well. So do you prefer to swim which one do you prefer? Swimming in the ocean or the pool?
Pool, for sure. The ocean, for sure, pool.
Why not the ocean?
What's it like? The ocean, you know how much stuff is in the ocean? You know how much stuff we don't even know is in the ocean, let alone
That's
the
right.
stuff we do? And
That's
it's just, like, animals have to live there. Like, they do everything there. Like, it's a little dirty. Like,
Because the pools you swim in are clean. No kids peeing in your pool.
I mean, I feel like most pools have, like, you feel me? Like, there's a filter, right? Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's the cleanest thing ever, but I mean, it's a little better than just the open wild, I think.
Yeah, I like the ocean for I don't surf. What is it? Boogie board, right? Body surfing. But other than that, that's the extent of it. Like, I try to no thigh high, right? I try.
Yeah.
Do you believe the way a person dresses affects how we think of them?
How people perceive them? Yes, I think so. I think 100%. I think how you're perceived, how you dress, a lot of people will, for the most part, will put something into it. I don't think, I think it's up to the individual to figure out whether, they want to get a message across or they feel like it's that deep. I don't think there's right or wrong answer you have to dress, but I think it would be foolish if we ignored that, most people feel like they'll judge people or will at least take into account how people dress.
What's your favorite color?
Probably black.
Why?
Feels like it's like goes with everything. If you're dressing, it's pretty neutral, kind of like how it looks.
Feels like you could offend exactly 0 teams by saying black. Yeah, I got you.
Busted. Look at that. Oh, what's your favorite color?
I swear it's black. Like, you can put I like black. I mean, I don't have it but I always think black, like black cars. Were always my favorite growing up. Like, really, if you have like a black interior for a house or something, I always thought looked cool. Like, I'm so genuinely sure.
Yeah.
Black Air Forces?
Not as much Black Forces.
Black Air Forces are ugly.
That's a mentality thing. That's I'm gonna rob you thing. That's
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I've never been robbed, so I'm not sure. And definitely, I'm not looking at somebody's shoes when they sticking me up at gunpoint. Like, what was he wearing? Black Air Forces.
Yeah, size 11 and a half. There he went that way. Yeah.
All right. All right. So this is a big one, though. This is a really important question. All right. What kind of music are you listening to before a big game?
It changes between the game. Like it depends, but for the most part, like probably 80%, it's like more. It's still like rap, like more like, but it's more chill, like Drake, J. Cole, like Nipsey, like stuff like, but more like chill type.
Okay.
I like that playlist is more like it's still rap, but it's not as much like the turnt Drake or like anything like it's not as.
So
like
let's see. All right. Let me go down a few games.
For sure.
Tennessee, what you listening to?
Yeah, for sure. That same playlist, like J. Cole, Drake, Nick. That's that's the most consistent for sure.
All right. Clemson, who you listening to?
For sure, same thing. Really the only time, and it doesn't even depend on the team. Like sometimes I'll feel like, either I'm down or just how I woke up. Like if it's an early game or something, I'll listen to the more up tempo stuff. Like let's get going, like let's get to it. I know how I feel when I need that, but it maybe comes up like once or twice.
So what about the cupcake teams like Monique State or Austin Prairie, all playing in the middle of the season? Like what you listening to? Like classical?
Nah, not classic. It's more hype, more up tempo, like more like that. We did that verse like Arkansas just because it was an early game. I did that just to wake myself up. It was more. Man, what's in that playlist? Like
I want to know what's in Austin Prairie, because the fact that y'all play Austin Prairie in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's more get yourself going. Those are the more like traditional, like more turnt playlists, like more. That's probably what like the more normal playlist. Normally it's a little bit more calmed down for most of the games.
All right. Well, I'm gonna shock you. At some point before my game, I would listen to like Adele or something like some kind of slow.
I respect that.
See,
I respect that. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I've been there for sure. I've had a couple of games too that I don't even know what for, but I'll listen to like I'll listen to SZA, like I'll listen to like I don't know, like some like Janae Eco or something, like something a lot more like calm. Like I've done that a couple of games too.
All right. So where are you from and the place you call your hometown?
Yeah, Pasadena, California for both.
Yeah, but you were born in Philly.
I was born in Philly. Yeah, I have family out there, but I moved back when I was like 2 months old. So, I don't have any like memory living there. Exactly.
All right. So since you're from Cali then, so what's the little burger spot or a taco spot up in Pasadena?
Burger spot, low key, for like, it's more burritos. And honestly, it's more breakfast burritos, but just along like the taco line. There's a place called Lucky Boys in Pasadena. They like burritos, especially the breakfast burritos. Man,
go crazy.
Crazy for sure.
Now I got some family right there off Las Flores in Pasadena.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I
know.
Yeah. I know that you. I know you're not. You about to say you almost slipped. You about to say that right around the corner. Yeah.
I was gonna ask. I wasn't gonna ask the other. If we was off, I would ask what the other street was that went to it to get more of a. Yeah. But we don't have to get that specific.
Yeah. No, we don't need that. No, because they will. You will. Then you won't be seeing any. You won't be seeing, as Coley says, some Air Force Ones. You'll be seeing them Cortezes.
Yeah, that's for sure, West.
Yeah, for sure. I got me two pairs of Cortezes at the house, and they only pop out if somebody about to get their mollywop.
Yeah.
If you see Steve, individual. You see Steve in some Cortezes, hey, go the other way because he is not in the frame of mind today. What you shake your head?
I'm gonna talk to Brian so I can get a shot of your footwear as you walk into the studio every week, so I know who I'm dealing with.
I don't wear. I'm coming in the studio. I'm not wearing no Cortez.
Okay, that's good to know.
If I ask for Cortez in the car, that means y'all need to find out what I'm doing after. Man, describe your upbringing.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I'm an only child. I'm really
Oh,
close
that explains a
with
lot. So never mind. No, I'm joking.
yeah, I'm super close with both my parents. My mom's been a special needs preschool teacher. She's taught a couple grades throughout my life, but she's been a special needs teacher throughout my whole life. And then my dad's been, he's done he's a mental health therapist, and he does some consulting now. So growing up, both my parents, my dad worked at a non-public school. He counseled there. So both my parents have a background in education. Both my parents worked at school, so I was always, my mom being a teacher, she was always helping me on my grades and making sure that I was handling everything with passion. I was born in Philly, but I came out here. My mom's from Pasadena, my dad's from the South Bay, which is pretty close too. So I'm from Cali. We're from Cali too, and we bounce around a little bit just around that Pasadena area. We just be in different spots around the city. We bounced around there, but grew up playing basketball and football, both honestly pretty equally up until about high school. And then in high school, kind of had to make the decision to focus more on football. Both schools I went to, like, you couldn't play two sports, so I had to make a decision, and I got my first offer in 8th grade. So I was going back and forth, and then that kind of like expedited the decision. So from there on out, I had to, I focused on football a little bit more. And then, went to school. I went to school for my first 2 years, school called Cathedral in Chinatown in LA. It was a really good opportunity. Play with some super talented guys that are still playing. Was able to meet one of, for me just now, someone I consider family, my head coach.
Did you go to the one in Chinatown off Olympic?
It's close to it. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's like you'd exit off the stadium to get there. It's right by Dodger Stadium. But it's like, it's by there though.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I went there. And super cool. I had a great opportunity to play varsity early, played a lot again with some talented guys. They transferred to Mater Dei for my last 2 years. It was a good opportunity for me to just step out of my comfort zone, play against elite competition. We played a national schedule, and to play against the best. It was a really good school, so practice against them every day too. So I think that really prepared me for the next level. So I was able to play there, and then after that was able to, take the next steps to Alabama.
Where you said you were offered at 8th grade? What school offered you in the 8th grade?
Texas Tech.
Cliff Kingsbury, huh?
Yeah, Coach Kingsbury.
Yeah. Huh.
He had the vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you were offered also by USC, but you decommitted.
Yeah. I was committed to USC. I think I committed, I want to say like off season, right before my junior year. I was committed there for about up until my senior year. Coach Clay Helton was head coach there, and then T. Martin was the OC. There's been a couple of changes, coaching changes since then. T. Martin was the OC. It was the. So
you're close with the Manning family. T. Martin recruited you, and you didn't pick Tennessee after all this?
Nah. I wasn't really recruited that much. I think I did get an offer from him. Maybe talked to him once, but I wasn't really recruited by Tennessee like that.
And then you go to Alabama. Now, let's be honest, man. You go from Pasadena, California, and you go to Alabama. Now, I grew up in LA, and Coley, he lives in Boston. He lived in New York. So we're used to looking and seeing all the different cultures. How much were you prepared for Alabama? Like the lack of culture in Alabama, in comparison to growing up in Los Angeles, because there is a difference. When I went to high school. One of my best friends is African, like from Ghana, still has an accent till this day. Asian, Persian, Latino, Filipino, like all walks of life And
Yeah.
then you go to Alabama, it ain't all walks of life in Alabama.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an adjustment. Same thing here. Just in passing in California in general, obviously there's a lot of diversity,
Mhm.
and it wasn't necessarily the same out there. Environment wise, it was different. Tuscaloosa is such a college town, and that's not as much of a thing. I was considering going to SC for a while, and it's right in LA, so there's campus and it's great, but it's not like you're the only show in town.
Mhm.
There's so much to do outside of it. It was just a different atmosphere, and honestly, one of the bigger things was, in general, just being in California, like sports there's a pocket of people who watch sports and pay attention to sports and cover sports, but it's not like the end all be all for everyone. Like, there's the people that are into sports, and then there's a long list of people that could care less, that are into, that are into the arts, or, whatever it may be, whatever other things are going on. There's so much going on in LA that, there's a majority of people that could care less about sports. And I've always, I always kind of looked at it as like, I'm an athlete, but I'm in this pocket of like athletics. There's so much else, other things to do. And then, when you go to the South, everyone's all in on sports, especially football. Like, everyone cares. It doesn't matter if you're, it doesn't matter what profession it is, about the football team for the most part in Alabama, about sports. And, that was honestly took some adjusting for me. But it was really good as well. Just having that support, that environment, being able to be around people who care so much, and we're so supportive of the team, and just supportive of me and as us as a collective. Just because I didn't have any family in Alabama, I never spent any extended period of time in the South. So I'm just being out there and them being so welcoming with me, just being a part of the team, and everyone being so supportive because of that. I was super grateful for that. So, it was different for sure, but I really appreciate that about Alabama.
This is Bandit. He founded Underdog Fantasy so that humans who really love sports could play with their friends and win some big prizes. Tell your human to go to underdogfantasy.com today.
Well, I want to know what was the sales pitch Saban gave you to make you come over there?
Yeah, I was recruited by Coach Sark for the most part. That was kind of my lead recruiter.
Sure.
And he had really just kind of pitched me on the opportunity, and Coach Saban obviously doubled down on that, but just pitched me on the opportunity to compete. Be able to compete at that level, to play in the SEC, to play against the best, compete against the best, and how open they were to competition, especially at the position, and also the system that we were in. It's something that really, I feel like, especially being in these meetings now, has really helped me. And, I see a lot of similarities now to the next level. And, that was something that was really intriguing for me as well. So those kind of being the main selling points. And then when I did talk to Coach Saban, hearing his philosophy on quarterbacks, on the position, and just being able to talk to him, you could tell it kind of weeded out the people that, didn't really want to be there. If you talk with Coach Saban, he's not going to sugarcoat anything for you. He's not going to lie to you. He's not going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you the truth. He's going to tell you that, here's where you can come and compete. Here's what we've done for others. Here's what the system allows. But, there's no promises. There's no guarantees. We're going to play you. We're going to play the best player. We're going to give you all we can to help you. But I'm not going to promise you anything. I'm not going to guarantee you anything. But we'll give you the opportunity to work. And that's how we are with everyone. And, knowing that, going through recruiting, you get so used to people just telling you what you want to hear, just because they want to get you on campus. And then, you hear so many people that, that I know they're in college now. And when we were in college at the same time, when we first got there, man, they told me this in recruiting. I got here and it's totally different. Man, they're Coach Saban through recruiting, through when I first got there, all the way, honestly, till now. Like, he's super honest. He's the same person. And, I knew that going in, and, it might be a deterrent, like, man, this coach didn't tell me and promise me this. But for me, I understood that he was honest. He was being transparent. And, I really appreciated that. So that helped me a lot.
So you say Sark recruited you and he's there your first year, and then it transitions to Bill O'Brien. So how was that? How different was it? Was that something you even anticipated? Do you think it's helped you prepare for the next level, where it will be even another offense, that NFL caliber offense both those guys run? Yeah,
for sure. At Alabama, there's so much turnover with coordinators. Actually, Coach Saban keeps the same offense. So OB had to come in and learn our offense. You know, obviously there's a bunch of carryover, but he had to learn new terms, learn a new operation. And he just does that just because, again, there's so much turnover. And, you know, if he didn't, there'd be guys that, you know, that were there that had to play for, you know, learn 3-4 offenses in, you know, 5-6 years. But because of that, it was really, you know, it was cool to be able to stay in the same system. But, you know, Sark and OB kind of had different philosophies. And, you know, I think for me, OB was a lot more quarterback centric in his philosophy of wanting to make sure everything was right, wanting to put a lot more on my plate as far as mic points and protection and, you know, rush responsibilities and run games of we want to only run to these looks and get us in and out of these plays. And also gave me a lot more freedom. You know, he would ask me for input. You know, we would collaborate a lot week to week on game plan stuff. And, you know, I really appreciated that. Him coming in and him allowing, you know, me to have input. You know, once I gained that trust and we had those conversations and we got to that level, him allowing me to come in and let me have input, us work on the game plan together. And then, you know, we would talk about these things and we put this stuff in together of, hey, we want it versus this look. We're looking for this. He gave me the freedom in game to get to it, regardless of what the play was, what the check was. You know, he gave me that freedom to get in and out of whatever play I wanted. And again, I wasn't just doing it randomly or just to do it, but it was because we had those conversations throughout the week of like, hey, coach, I think I really like this if we get this look. He's like, you know, I like it too. Or, let's do this instead. Okay, I got you, coach. And, you know, us having that dialogue was, you know, was really helpful for me. And I think that was kind of the biggest difference as far as the two coordinators.
What was the difference for you in high school, what you were asked to do in high school compared to now, what you just explained, your responsibility and requirements in college?
Yeah, actually, I was asked to do the exact same thing in high school, which is why I feel like I was prepared pretty well.
Cool.
You know, but I mean, obviously, in high school, it's not as much. I still had the same freedom and was still doing all the protections and stuff in high school, but you know, you're not seeing the same defenses, you're not seeing the same blitzes. You know, you don't have as many plays. So I was doing the same, but obviously, it's a lot more. It's a lot more responsibility. A lot, you know, it was a lot harder, of course, at the next level.
So at what point in your career or what point in high school or college did you really start to focus on wanting or having a desire to play in the National Football League?
You know, honestly, I don't think that's ever been something that I focused on. You know, I think that, you know, that's a dream and that's a goal. As far as, you know, I mean, of course, like we all grow up watching the NFL and, you know, at the end of the day, that's the highest level. I've always wanted to push myself to reach the highest level. So subconsciously, of course, like I've always wanted to go to the NFL, but I've never really been a super long-term goal-oriented person. I'm more focused on the process and where I'm at and kind of being where my feet are. So for me, it's never really been about like, you know, I wasn't in high school, like, what are they going to think in the pros? It was always about being the best version of me, focus on myself day in and day out. And, you know, now, of course, I wanted to mold the game and I don't want to do anything that was detrimental towards the next level. I don't want to get into bad habits in college or get into bad habits in high school that would stop me from having success at the next level. And I've been blessed to be around coaches that, you know, don't put me in that position to do anything detrimental. But because of that, I know that I'm, you know, in the right direction, you know, again, playing for the coaches I have, OB, you know, Coach Brady, Coach Washington, Coach so many great QBs. Same thing with Sark, Coach so many great QBs. I know, you know, they're obviously not having me do anything detrimental, but knowing that and just putting my faith in that, it's really more so just been a focus on every single day, you know, working to try to be the best version of myself, getting better for one day, getting better for, you know, putting everything into this week's game plan and for this Saturday. And, you know, it really has been more of a focus on that. And, you know, for me, it's trying to figure out what I can do to enhance my process versus, you know, kind of looking towards those long-term goals.
And I know you get tired of hearing it. You know, I do too. But, you know, everything through this process has always been about measurables, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you what do you really think about hearing all these great things that they say about you, and then they talk about the height. They talk about the height like you're missing a lamp, almost.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you. I mean, honestly, I've been hearing it my whole life. Like, it's not something that's new. And I'm good with it. Like, I don't hear like people say like, you know, oh, but he's 5'10", or I don't think small quarterbacks are going to work. I don't think this is going to, like, I respect that. Like, I feel like that's what sports is. Like, we all grew up going to barbershops and debating about this. And we all have, guys that, I feel like that's the beauty of sports. You get to talk about things. Oh, you get to debate things, whether whether you watch the film and you're in the NFL, or you're just someone who watched one game. Like, that's what sports is about. We all talk about things. We all have opinions. And I think everyone's entitled to that opinion.
So look, I've met you 3 times now. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do got to make fun of you, though. I have to make fun of you. Right. So I met you at the Super Bowl and called you CJ. Bro, you did not correct me.
That, now I've had to hear that story a couple of times. I was just saying it. And I rock with you. I definitely did correct you. I didn't say it. It was a slight. I didn't get like,
but I felt,
I was impressed.
I walked away. I was like, how did I call him CJ? And then when I saw CJ, I was like, ooh, that was a bad mix-up. Like,
no,
I felt really bad. I was like, ooh.
No.
That was terrible.
No, you'd be surprised. I get it often. Like, I get it. You'd be surprised. You're not the first person. But I was, like I said, I'm not tripping. That's why. But I was
tripping.
Nice
I was kind of embarrassed, bro.
No, you're good. I was just like, nice to meet you too. Like, I'm Bryce, by the way, but like,
he said, so you were like,
yeah.
He was like, he said, yeah, CJ, I'm cool with him. And I heard, here's what he said. Yeah, I'm cool with CJ, but I heard, I am not CJ. Right? Like, what do you, when you're drafted, what kind of football player do you want to be, and what kind of football player are they going to get?
Yeah, I think, again, for me, I know what they're going to get for sure, and that's someone who's going to put everything into mastering my craft, not just for me as an individual, but for us as a team. I know what I bring as far as just my dedication to the game, to this process. I'm doing everything that I can on the field, off the field, to put ourselves as a team into a better situation. Someone who's going to work as hard and as long as it takes to put himself and, again, the team in that best situation. And, all the stuff that I feel like I could bring on the field too. I feel like, again, a big thing for me is trying to marry that, being in a new environment, new system, getting that stuff, getting that kind of mastery of those situations back and working towards that. And again, that's a process of learning people, getting to be into a new locker room and learn a bunch of new people. So I'm super excited about, getting to meet and learn a bunch of people and learn what obviously makes them great to be there. And then, learn how we can work together in coalition and raise each other up. So someone who's going to be completely dedicated to doing that, again, on and off the field. And then, for me, I want to be someone who helps with the success of the team. Whatever our team goals are, I want to be known as someone who will do anything to accomplish them. Obviously, the NFL being a business, everyone wants to win, and I want to have success. I want to bring that success, to a franchise, help, raise everyone up as they raise me up. And, and as a team, do all we can to accomplish all of our team goals.
So when you get drafted, does the Heisman Trophy, are you bringing it, or is it just going to stay at the house?
No, it's at my parents, so it's up to them, whatever they want to do with it.
Oh, that's dope. Like, if you need anybody to house sit it, you bring it over to the house. I'll take care of it.
Good luck getting away from my dad. He's not going.
If you obviously becoming a football player is your profession. If you weren't playing football, what would you do? What would you
I'd
be
be
doing?
hooping. I'd be hooping for sure. I don't know at what level. I don't know what my stats would be, but I'd be hooping. I don't know. Again, I don't know where it would be. I don't know how far I would get. I'm not saying I'd be league, but I'm just saying somewhere, somehow, I'd be finding a way to play basketball.
I was gonna say, if they're asking questions about your height for the NFL, it would be brought up a lot.
I'm a realistic guy.
Oh, thanks, Coley. Just dream cushion.
Listen, he said he didn't know what level. Who do you play like? What's your game like?
My game, I say personally, kind of like Darius Garland.
Okay.
I mean, obviously not
Okay.
at that level, but I feel like if you translate it down, I feel like that's kind of a good comparison.
Okay. I like that.
All right. So this is a really big one because Coley's been getting on me at this. Do you like, what was it, butter pecan?
I don't. Nah.
See, told you.
What? That wasn't the argument at all.
Yes, it was because
No, it wasn't. You told me black raspberry ice cream doesn't exist, which simply isn't true.
black, right?
Right. Butter pecan we agreed upon was like
Butter
grandparent
pecan-
ice cream.
Well, he was middle class. So butter pecan is a poor black
It's
person.
lower middle class at best.
That's why he's chuckling. He agrees because he know a lot of butter pecan folks, don't you? Hey, bro, like I just keep it 100, man. I grew up on butter pecan. I don't have no butter pecan in my house no more.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, you don't like butter pecan, do you?
No, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's nasty. How did you handle the expectation and also the pressure of playing at the University of Alabama and playing quarterback, let alone?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of experiences in my past that have kind of prepared me. Obviously, I think a lot of times, for me, how I look at it, a lot of times people look at, a lot of times people I say look at, man, you've never done this before. How is it going to feel, again, being the quarterback at Alabama or the next level in this game? And like, for me, everything's relative. Like, I feel like, not everyone's played in, whatever game, not everyone's played in whatever stadium, but as long as, I've had 8th grade games that in my head, when I was 8th grade, the championship for our league was like the biggest thing in the world to me.
Yeah,
like the world would have ended. So it's like, I felt like it's all relative of how you think in your head. So, and then on top of that, I have been in some high pressure situations. I've been in some teams that, I've been in big, I've been to teams that were, really big. We played in, I played in national championships in middle school, and I played in state championships in high school. So there's been stuff that's similar. And then on top of that, as far as like when it's pressure situations, I feel like those situations really only culminate who you are. They bring out who you are, where you're at that moment, what you train to do, what you put in, all the preparation you had. I feel like it brings that out. If you're someone who, if you kind of take it till you make it to get there and you're not sure and you're probably not going to go the best. But if you put in the work, you put in the work, you prepared, and you're ready for the moment, then that's going to show. So for me, those pressure moments, I pride myself in throughout the week and the off season, doing whatever it takes so that I know that I put the work in, know that I'm prepared, know that I'm ready. So, for those moments, I feel like they're just, at that point, it's a fun opportunity because I know what I put in to get there. And, now everyone gets to see it.
I want to hear you scout 2 other players that are at the top of this draft. One, a teammate of yours, and one you played against multiple times, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson Jr., 2 of the top defensive players. What stood out about them?
Yeah, I mean, well, Will's special. For me, obviously being able to see not just Will on Saturdays, but being able to see Will every single day in the facility, even every day going to class, even around campus. We've taken a bunch of the same classes, seeing how he approaches, I know his family, seeing how he approaches almost, most aspects of his life. And it's crazy for me. He was someone who pushed me a lot, without him even knowing, just seeing how he carried himself, seeing how he worked in the weight room, how much he got after, how much he was bringing people along with him. We were doing conditioning. He's always finishing first. He's always leading. And he just has that energy towards him to where he does a great job of bringing people together. And he works so hard and he does so much. Everyone wants to gravitate toward that. Like everyone sees that, everyone respects it, and everyone wants to raise their game. And then on the football field, it's crazy. I mean, the first step, the ability, like just the combination of that power and that athleticism and strength, it's crazy. We've had so many practices where coaches just had to pull him to the side and take him off because we just wanted to get the offense going. It was like, if I can't get the ball out in a quick game, there's been multiple practices like that. And then again, just the leadership he has in the locker room, in our, hearing him talk to the team, hearing him talk to the team in our leadership meeting, our team meetings on Saturdays before the game and halftime, just hearing how he talks to the team, the amount of passion and fire, again, mixed with raising everyone up with a positivity. Because, you see people who are passionate and care, but it's hard to get that out. It's hard to really, sometimes it doesn't come out well, or it's just, they can just, they're just driven, by themselves, but, it doesn't really do much for people around them. But his ability to bring people with him, mixed with all the stuff that you see on the field, on top of, again, him just being a really cool dude, him being a super good, just a good person and a really cool dude to be around, and someone I consider a brother. On top of all that, it was an honor to play with him these last couple of years. Like, it means the world. And then, Jalen Carter, like you said, we played against him a couple of times, and just watching him on film, he's just a matchup nightmare, just crazy as far as that power. And, it's so hard to be able to see people that can, from that 3-tech spot or from that interior, create pressure on pass. When you can pass rush from a 3-tech or from a shade or whatever, that's so hard to deal with as an offense. When you get it on the outside, you can scheme towards that. You could chip, you can have them run them around, and you're gonna have to step. But when it's coming from the interior, it is tough. And he was someone that that was our sophomore year. Even our sophomore year, as a sophomore, they had that crazy defense in Georgia, all those first round picks. He stood out on tape, like instantly popped. We would come back. OB actually, we came back, and the first week he's like, look, all these guys are good. We know it's really good defense, but 88, like we have to make sure we're going to, like, and to stand out with all the other guys that were on that team. And again, just as a sophomore, I'm speaking to him, and I hadn't met him until the combine. Now I remember I met him. He was super cool. We didn't talk for that long, but he was a super cool dude. We said what's up, made a couple of jokes, but he was super cool with me when I've been around him. When I did see him and get to meet him. But again, me knowing him more on film, it's crazy the stuff that how much he pops when you watch the tape.
All right, I got two things left for you, and then we'll let you go. Man, everybody talks about this processing and how well you process, and you do such a great job at processing. Nobody has ever asked you, what is that test like? Because they don't, everybody keeps talking about the test. What is it, on a laptop, a mini iPad? Like, what? Just kind of tell us what it is.
Yeah, it's on a laptop, and then again, it just kind of measures your it's on a laptop, so it's like there's stuff there. There's a couple of different sections, and then it measures how quickly you can react to, and then they'll put some stuff like it's kind of like, it's hard to explain, but it's just how much you can
push a button. I guess something pop on the screen, and you got hit the control, analog delete, what is it?
No,
they don't have receiver processing tests, so I don't know.
No, it's all clicking on, it's more it's like clicking on the right thing, and then clicking at stuff on the right time. Like, some stuff will flash, and some stuff will flash, and you don't press it. Some stuff will flash, you do press it. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I'll be honest, we took a couple of tests, so I'm pretty sure that one was true. I think that's the one that we're talking about. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it was like, you kind of do that. And yeah, I mean, we've taken a couple of tests since then, so I don't really, I forgot taking it, but it was something like that.
All right. Well, appreciate it, bro. Look forward to seeing wherever you go, and stay in touch, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me as well.
All right. Appreciate it.
Cut to it. Let's get down to it.